Well, Ukhozi FM finally revealed the 2019 results of its Ingoma Ehlukanisa Unyaka campaign. The SABC was interdicted from revealing the results on the 31st of December last year. The court application was withdrawn in January this year. Today, the station will be recreating New Year's Eve with actual top 10 songs as voted by listeners. Right, for more on this, we're crossing to our reporter who is there in Durban, Ayanda Mhlongo. Just as a start, Ayanda, I mean, Ukhozi FM will indeed reveal its 2019 Song of the Year, but what are the people in Durban really saying about this? I mean, are they even still excited about it? Are they not over it by now, if I can put it as frankly as that?
Very good afternoon to you, Flo, and good afternoon to the viewers. We are coming to you live from the SABC offices here in Durban. Well, certainly, Flo, there was a great deal of disappointment on December 31st last year when the millions and millions of Ukhozi FM listeners, unfortunately, were not able to hear which song that they had voted for as the end of the year's song. And so there was a lot of disappointment, and just in a few minutes I'll be speaking to the station manager about it. But having seen some of the Ukhozi FM DJs here today and chatting with some of them, they're saying that the feeling that they're getting today is that there's been a great deal of excitement from their listeners. Of course, they're interacting with them directly through the programs throughout the day, but also, of course, on their social media platforms. And so it's a great deal of excitement, they are saying, from many of the listeners of Ukhozi FM. And here, I think they've recreated the mood, as you're saying. I don't know if you can hear the music in the background, but it is certainly a very jovial mood. It's a happy new year, as Ukhozi today will be announcing the best song. It has become tradition over the years, and unfortunately in this past year, that song unable to be heard on the airwaves because of that last-minute court interdicted. But let me bring in the lady who is leading the station, Ingoma, just to talk us through on the excitement today. Sibongi, thank you so much for your time. Just a little bit recap back. Of course, there was so much disappointment on December the 30th. I know you were scrambling because of the court interdict. Just for the sake of our viewers, take us back as to why you were unable to play the songs on the 31st of December.
Thank you very much for having me. As you correctly are saying, we were served with the court interdict, where we had someone block us announcing, as we have been doing for the past couple of decades, Ingoma Ehlukanisa Unyaka. So every year we have millions of listeners looking forward to hear what song will play at midnight on the 31st of December. Unfortunately, this year around 5 o'clock in the afternoon on the 31st of December, we were served with the interdict. And as the public broadcaster, it's irresponsible of us to listen to the court of law. So we would never go against the court of law. So we abided by that, and we delayed the announcement. This interdict was later withdrawn, and we are then now able to go ahead and announce what has been anticipated since December. And you can imagine the disappointment that we all felt. I mean, this is a legacy for Ukhozi FM. I mean, we are all about, legacy. We are a very credible brand, and we like to deliver on our promises. That's why we couldn't just let this go. We have to deliver. We started the campaign, and it's important for us to complete the campaign. We have artists that we're waiting to hear. I mean, this is a huge bragging right. So, to be like, I have the song of the year for the entire year. So that was disappointing for them. We have listeners as well who have voted, and I mean, they use money out of their pockets to vote for the people that they think are deserving of this award. So we had to deliver to both our stakeholders, the artists, as well as the listeners, who are the most important. We are nothing without our listeners. So this really is to say to them, this is still the Ukhozi FM that you know. We are still the credible brand that you believe in, and we have to carry out our promise. So for us, it was just, let's really get the mood back. Let's recreate New Year's Eve. We're all wearing what we were wearing on the 31st of December, and we are just going to announce the top 10. So we'll start from the number 10 song all the way up to announcing the song of the year. And for us, tomorrow's the first.
And just tell us, what has been the mood now? I mean, you've been promoting it over the couple of days. saying that today is in fact the 31st of December. But what has been the reaction and the mood from your listeners?
Look, our listeners were obviously also very disappointed. And, you know, if you can imagine, if you've been following Ukhozi FM all your life, like I have, you know, that's decades of following something. And, you know, when you're used to having some sort of it's a tradition that, you know, every year you have to hear this. And, you know, tuning into your radio and you don't get what you usually get, that's very disappointing. So to hear that we are now recreating it, they've been very supportive and very understanding. And, you know, they've really joined in. We have a hashtag going because people have been asking, because we called it Ingoma Ehlukanisa Unyaka.
Yeah. So
to answer the question, so it's hashtag Sihlukanisa Kwasani. So we're really separating ourselves from anything that holds us back. So that's what we're doing today. And the listeners are supportive. They're all very excited. We have listeners outside who are wanting to join in with all the festivities. So they are anticipating this. Everyone is talking about going to get fireworks and really recreating New Year. So we really appreciate how supportive our listeners have been.
And I suppose from the artists as well, that these are top 10 songs. They must be sitting wherever they are, eagerly awaiting to who of the 10 was voted as the best song.
Of course. And what we did do on the 31st is that at midnight we didn't play a song. We just had fireworks play so that we can reserve that right for the person who rightfully deserves it. Okay. So we couldn't play any other song on the 31st at midnight. So that bragging right still belongs to that artist. So we reserved that for them to just show, look, this is not something that was in our control. If we could have had it any other way, we really would have. And we just really were about really abiding by the law of South Africa, which we are governed by, which is really important for us. And now we're saying, please get excited all over again, and the bragging right is still yours.
It's still yours. Just my last question, of course, this year it is the 31st. Tomorrow will be the 1st. But this year, looking at the setback that you encountered this past year, are we likely to see this tradition continuing again at the end of this year?
It is a tradition. It is part of who we are. It is our campaign, and we will continue to carry out something we have been doing for decades. So really, it is about honoring what it is that we are about as Ukhozi FM. Like I say, it's very important to the station to deliver on this, and we could never disappoint our listeners who have been following this for the many years that they have.
And I don't suppose you can tell us now who the song was.
No. You'll have to listen like everybody else. The show is on right now currently, and we'll be starting to count down from 5 o'clock.
From 5 o'clock. All right, Sibonge Ngcobo, the station manager of Ukhozi FM. They're just taking us through, of course, the challenges that they encountered when it comes to what has become a tradition for their station with the song of the year. But as she has said, the Ukhozi FM DJs, they are here behind us, and this is where they're broadcasting from 5 o'clock this afternoon. They will then start the countdown from song number 10 till the song that would have been the best song or most voted for song on December the 31st. Great deal of excitement here. As she said, many listeners of Ukhozi FM are tuning into the station. Many are here as well at the SABC offices to be part of today's celebrations here in Durban. That's all we have for you now, Flo. It's back to you in studio.
All right, thank you very much to you, Ayanda Mhlongo, there in Durban in KZN. And of course, it does seem that the people of KZN are still, unfazed. They're still excited about the song of the year, as late as it may be coming. So, of course, as the station manager did mention there, that it was, of course, disappointing for the listeners, but it is bragging right for the artists. So either way, they will deliver on the promise. And as they've said, from 5 p.m., that's in an hour and 15 minutes, of course, that song of the year, the countdown will then begin.